Do you want to know the best attackers to play in ranked solo queue for Brutal Swarm? We've come to the right channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you the top 5 best attackers to play in Brutal Swarm, as well as some honorable mentions that I'll get into before the first spot. So make sure you stick to the end of the video to get the best attacker that you should be playing in solo queue. And with that out of the way, let's get straight in the video. So the first operator on my list is going to be Capitao. Now, Capitao is a really good operator on his own, and they gave him a Gon 6. He has a lot of versatility with his Firebolts and his Smoke Bolts. His Firebolts are great for flushing out defenders in high priority positions, to then follow up with gunfights and teammates that are in position as well. And his smokes are good, just like any other smokes, but they also are able to create one-way smokes if you shoot them at the roof, which is extremely helpful in certain scenarios, but overall good for clearing out attacker positions and controlling the flow of the round with his Firebolts. Also, if you know they have a Wamai and you're trying to Gon 6 the shield, you can use his Firebolts / Smoke Bolts to burn the Wamai, and then you can go ahead and Gon 6 the shield. Very useful tip there. And he also has a lot of versatility with his loadout. He has the M249 saw, which is pretty good, as well as the Para 308. Personally, I would run the Para 308 as they did just nerf LMGs. And he also has claymores or hard breaching charges. Now, hard breaching charges paired with a Gon 6 on Capitao is a lot of utility, which I would personally bring. Especially with Capitao's flex style of play, you want to be bringing those hard breaching charges as opposed to something like claymores. He can be very versatile, and that is why he is under the flex role, but he's also very useful in any certain scenario. And if you bring Capitao, you're always going to be providing something to your team if played correctly, and that's why he is the 5th on this list. And my number 4 spot is going to be Dokkaebi. Now, Dokkaebi is one of the best roam clearers in the game, second to Jackal, and Jackal is banned a lot, which is why my second pick would be Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi, on her own, is very, very good, was always very, very good. She has an okay gun selection, right? If you know how to use the DMR, it's pretty good. If not, then it kind of sucks. But Dokkaebi has the ability to call defenders for efficient roam clearing, and then when you do successfully roam clear, you get a huge reward by getting the defenders' cameras by hacking into their phones. A very, very good operator, and if they have a lot of cameras, a great counter to that on maps like Chalet and Bank. Very useful. But now she also has EMP grenades along with a Gon 6, so she can be a very versatile operator that brings a lot of utility to the table. Speaking of her loadout, her second option is the Boss G if you want to bring that. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it. She also has the C75 auto, the SMG-12, smoke grenades, and stun grenades. So she has 3 secondaries and 3 secondary gadgets. A lot of versatility there for a lot of different play styles. You can be more team-oriented or frag-oriented. She's very flexible in that case, and that is definitely why I recommend you pick up Dokkaebi. With the addition of EMP grenades, she can be a very good fit to a roster for solo queue or for team play in ranked. The next operator on my list for the same reason as Dokkaebi is going to be Lion. Again, great for roam clearing, but also good for team play. Lion scans base value bring a lot of value to the table. You just click a button and it makes all defenders have to stand still or move and get pinged. So you don't really need to have skill to play this operator. He's very easy to pick up, but if you are skillful with him, it's even better. And he also just got the EMP grenades along with his already great loadout. He has a 50 round AR with a drum mag and an angled grip with a lot of sights on it, as well as the best DMR in the entire game, and Doc Shotgun 3. Very powerful options. He also comes with the Gon 6, a pistol, and a revolver, so great for secondary weapons, and then he also has a lot of secondary gadgets, including the new EMP grenades. So, like I said, very good for roam clearing because you can scan for those roamers, and if you've drummed them out and you know where they are, then they sit still and you get a free kill. If not, they get pinged and you take all that space that they're not sitting in. On this channel, we have made a Lion guide, so make sure you go check that out. That being said, he is a very flexible operator, and there is a lot of room for him to play on the objective with the supports, but also for the roamers. With his EMP grenades, however, you want to play more with the supports, as you're going to be getting walls and using your Lion scans for executes. This makes him extremely flexible in terms of playstyle, and that is why I think Lion is a great operator for Brutal Swarm. Coming into my number 2 spot is Buck, and Buck is one of those operators that's always going to be useful if played correctly. He's very good for vertical play, just like Sledges, but he also has those hard breaching charges in case you need a Hibana and a Sledge. You can just merge the two into Buck and be able to solo queue and play with your team a lot more effectively. But now he also has the Gon 6, and this adds a lot of versatility to his loadout. One of the things that people picked Sledge over Buck for was because of those grenades that are able to get shields, and now Buck has the ability to do that himself. Also, he has flash grenades, so he can burn and get a shield all by himself, and play vertically, so a lot of versatility in one operator. Also, his primary gun is very good. It has a 1.5 and all the one-time scopes on it, as well as it not having much recoil in the first place, and he can play vertically beneath, which is something that Sledge has a very hard time doing. So Buck is very versatile, he's very easy to pick up, and brings a lot of value just by you playing him. Like I said, they gave him the Gon 6, which only buffed him this season if he wasn't already good enough, and that's why I definitely think you should be picking up Buck this season. But before I get into my number one attacker that you need to be playing in Brutal Swarm, I'm going to give you 2 honorable mentions. My first honorable mention is Flores. Flores is extremely powerful, especially in ranked. Nobody plays him and nobody expects him. If they have any deployable shields, barbed wire, Malusi gadgets, bulletproof gadgets, etc., he gets all of those with 1 Rotero drone, and he has 4 of them. He also has 2 very good guns, the AR-33 and the L8 that comes on Sledge, 3 flash grenades, and a great pistol sidearm. So very versatile, extremely easy to play, and very hard to counter, and that's definitely why I think Flores should also be played coming into Brutal Swarm. The final honorable mention is going to be Gridlock. Gridlock is one of those operators that doesn't see a lot of playtime because she's a little underwhelming at times, but Alota is extremely versatile. She has 2 great primaries, 3 great secondaries, with the Super Shorty being extremely good on attack as is, but also a Gon 6 is very, very powerful on attack. And then she also has smoke grenades, breaching charges, or EMP grenades. Very good in terms of versatility with how you want to play Gridlock, the certain play styles, the certain strats you can make with her, but also the 4 tracks that she brings out. She can lock a side up very quickly, make it hard for defenders to rotate and flank whenever you're pushing. So I definitely recommend picking Gridlock up as a second pick if any of the 5 operators that are listed on this are taken. The last operator on this list is going to be Zofia, and Zofia is one of those operators that has always been really good, no matter the weapon selection, and is always going to be very good because of the amount of utility that she brings, especially for a fragging operator. They nerfed her LMG, which, you know, kind of sucks, but they buffed her AR's recoil. The AR is still really good. It has vertical grip with a large amount of sights. I think it's the 1.5 and the 2x that come on that gun. So overall, very easy to control. And then her main ability, the KS-79 Lifeline, brings 2 stuns and 2 impact grenades. So there's a lot of utility burn, a lot of utility clear. You can get soft breaches yourself, which means you can play vertically. You can get shields, you can get bulletproof utility, stuff like that. And then you can also burn with your stuns. You can also stun enemies and win gunfights with your stuns. So very good in that sense, very versatile. And she's one of the best fraggers in the game because she's extremely easy to play. She has one of the best guns in the game. And if needed, she can bring that utility along with her fragging playstyle, which makes her such a good operator for people to play in ranked, and especially in solo queue. She's always been in the top of most people's tier list when it comes to solo queue attackers, and she's only gone up because they've only made her better, in my opinion, with the AR buff. So that is why I think she is the number 1 attacker that you need to play in solo queue ranked for Brutal Swarm.